How big of a problem are illegal robocalls in Washington State?
Hey, so robocalls are, just the bane of existence for so many Washingtonians, and they're not just annoying, but they're often illegal as well. And as you and your listeners know, can often involve scams that, frankly, separate people from their hard-earned money. And so just to give you a sense of scale, we had one case recently brought against a company that made over 13 million robocalls in just a couple years into Washington State, in which they dialed 500 individual Washingtonians over 100 times each. So it's a big, big problem.
So as the Attorney General, what is Washington State doing to tackle this issue?
Yeah, so in my office, we've actually undertaken an initiative to try and improve this real big challenge. So number one, we have created an informational website and a complaint form on our website that folks can go to and fill out information about robocalls they're getting. And that helps my team do the investigation and bring these cases that can put a stop to them. Also, we've been working for years now in partnership with AARP to help bring awareness to Washington residents, especially our senior citizens who live on fixed incomes and who are often, like my 94-year-old mother, are often most frequently targeted by illegal robocalls.
So if you're scammed, what are the chances you're going to get your money back?
There's a chance you'll get it back. I will say for consumer protection cases in general, and robocalls complaints are a type of consumer protection. That's my team that does the work. My team over, the last 8 or 9 years, which I've been Attorney General, we've literally returned back to Washingtonians about $1 billion from cases we've brought on their behalf. So the amount of money we can return is large. Now, I will say with robocalls, it's a little trickier because it's often not a bricks and mortar store, right? Or necessarily a reputable business that you can file a lawsuit and that there's dollars there at the end of the process to return to Washingtonians. However, we have in some of our robocall cases been able to bring cases successfully and return dollars back to Washingtonians.
So as a consumer, I get a robocall. What can I do to help protect me?
So what you can do to protect yourself is just to hang up. I think a lot of folks engage in a conversation once they realize it's a robocall. Don't do that. Just hang up the phone. And frankly, one thing I communicate to people is if you don't recognize the number, just don't answer it. Check the message and call back if it's someone you know. So I know there's this compulsion to answer that phone, but honestly, robocalls, I just want your listeners to know it leads to so much heartache because there's so many scams that target all Washingtonians, especially seniors. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than talking to an individual who lost not just hundreds, but sometimes thousands of dollars due to a scam connected to these robocalls.
Now, I usually block the number too after I get one. Does that help, or do they just call from thousands of different numbers so it doesn't matter?
No, using blocking services can help tremendously. And there are entities out there that you can utilize that will block many robocalls. Now, that said, these folks are creative and they'll sometimes try to find ways through, but you can definitely lessen the impact of those robocalls by doing taking exactly that type of action. I also encourage people, for the most part, this is regulated by Congress, right? Because you're talking about phone service throughout the entire country, all 50 states. That's typically regulated at the federal level. So I encourage everyone to write to their member of Congress, to write to their U.S. senators, and encourage them to continue taking more aggressive action with the telecommunications industry to require them to put in safeguards that will protect all Washingtonians.
Talking to our Washington State Attorney General, Bob Ferguson. Thank you so much for joining me today. And you're going to be at the Tip-Offs to Rip-Offs event on June 22nd?
Absolutely. The AARP and my office, we work together closely to just help educate folks about what's going on when it comes to robocalls and consumer issues generally. So it's a great partnership and looking forward to participating.
Yeah, and everyone can be in that. Just go to aarp.org/try/cities tip-offs, and you can get signed up for free so everyone can go.
Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.
You too.